1, go.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Monday edition of Proline with Jim Price. I'm Dave Koken. We've got lots to talk about. We'll begin by talking about what we've got up on the website and what took place this weekend. I've got my early college football games for the week. They are 10-3 on the season, and I like this play quite a bit. That's up right now, along with 2 college basketball plays. One of them's an upset special, and the other one just a game that I think is a clear right side. Jim, you've got NFL action tonight. You've got NBA and NHL all up on the website. So it's going to be a busy day for both of us.
Well, I have not posted the college hoops yet, but I will within the next hour. And so by the time the people are listening to this, they'll be up. But we got a lot to talk about. But I do have stuff up there, as Dave mentioned. Just go to the website, jimfeist.com, or you can also go and purchase at vegassportsmasters.com. We had some exciting games over the weekend. Some amazing coaching decisions. I cannot believe some of the things I'm seeing and hearing. It's unbelievable. McCoy was fired today by Denver as the offensive coordinator. But the real blame on that team, I'm going to go right outside and say it, John Elway. And until they start throwing some heat under his ass, nothing's going to change.
Well, that changed. We'll see what happens out there. They're having a down season, no question about that. Let's talk about some of the statements that got made on Sunday. And also with the Vikings, I mean, their defense, that's a good Rams offense, and they completely shut them down. And Case Keenum, I'll tell you what, he's playing very efficiently. That was a convincing win for the Vikings.
It absolutely was. And when they shut down the running game for the Rams, I think they told the whole league, this is what you have to do to beat the Rams. But not everybody, of course, is capable of doing that. The Vikings have that ability. I don't know what Mike Zimmer is doing with this Teddy Bridgewater nonsense. But you got a guy that's playing efficiently, you're winning, you got a chance to go to the Super Bowl and make some noise in the playoffs for sure. And you're playing around with a guy that hasn't played in 2 years, coming off a devastating injury. I don't know where his head is at, but he's got to pull it out of where it is and start supporting the guy that's making him famous with all these wins. Teddy may never be able to play as well as he did before, and I'm not so sure he was any better than what Case Keenum's playing right now. So, I mean, that's just my opinion. Not everybody has to agree with that, and I really don't care. But then we can look at another team. Who would have ever thought that the Saints and Eagles would be the best 2 teams in the NFC? It's absolutely amazing. These 2 teams are playing so well. The Saints coming back from a major deficit in the second half of that game. 8 straight wins after starting the season 0-2.
Yeah, boy, that was impressive. And I had the Redskins, so the result was fine with me because I was getting a lot of points in that game and got the win. But that was tremendously impressive what the Saints did. What wasn't impressive, boy, this is probably looming now as the most bizarre decision of the entire NFL season. And I don't think it was made by the coach. I think it was made by management. But whatever the reasoning, the Buffalo Bills made a colossal blunder, benching Tyrod Taylor, and they put a guy who had no business being on the field yesterday, Nathan Perriman, out there. That was a total disaster for the Bills.
Unbelievable. I was talking to Hank earlier, Hank Goldberg I'm talking to, and he agrees with you that he doesn't feel like it was Sean McCoy that made that decision. I don't know why they did what they did, but they threw the whole team under the bus. I mean, they were in contention. I mean, they're playing on the road in California, but the Chargers don't have that much home field advantage in that stadium, and that game was easily winnable. You wouldn't know that by the final score, but 5 interceptions when Taylor threw 3 interceptions the whole year. So I can't understand what they did.
They put Taylor back in the game anyway. Look, I think it was made by management. They know Taylor's probably going to leave after this season. He's an unrestricted free agent. And maybe they wanted to look at Perriman. But why would you do it in week 11 when your team's 5-4? And still, I know they hadn't played well last week. They're still in the playoff hunt. You get a win against the Chargers. You're 6-4. And instead, they put this guy out there and basically forfeited the game in the process. I just don't. I don't understand what management could have been thinking. There's no way the coach did this on his own. No way. I'm 100. I'm not even 99.9% sure on that, Jim. I'm 100% sure on that.
He tried to defend the decision by claiming they're not doing well on third downs, but I mean granted they played terrible against the Jets and they played terrible against the Saints 2 weeks in a row. They didn't look good. Okay, maybe you're going to make a change, but you don't go to a 5th round draft choice, Nathan Peterman. I think that's his name, Peterman.
Yes. Peterman. Yeah.
And I mean, how do you even keep him in for a half after what he started out doing? I mean, I don't understand it. It's unimaginable. It's one of the worst coaching decisions or executives, whoever made the damn decision. It kind of reminds me, it's not quite the same, but it was the same team years ago when Doug Flutie was winning every game. They get to the playoffs and they switch back to an injured quarterback who is now healthy. What was his name? Rob Johnson?
Yep.
And they blew the playoffs. It was, maybe it's the water in Buffalo, I don't know. And then, of course, let's take a look at the Chiefs. 5-0 start. They win at New England. Everybody's saying this is the best team in football, at least the best team in the AFC. And now they've gone out. I mean, yesterday was a shit show, losing to the Giants, who have absolutely nothing. And they've now lost 4 out of their last 5 games. And if it wasn't for the fact that they're in a division with relatively no talent on these other teams, I mean, Denver's not going to go anywhere. Oakland looks like they've fallen off the wagon. Maybe they were just lucky last year. And of course, the Chargers, you don't know what you're going to get with the Chargers because they really are playing 16 road games this year. But it's hard to believe how the Chiefs have fallen off, and now they're 6-4. And if it wasn't for the fact they're playing in a weak division, you wouldn't give them no chance to go anywhere.
No, not based on the way they're playing right now. And Alex Smith is a kid. I'm not suggesting they put Mahomes in because I don't think you do that, but something isn't right there. And one thing to take into consideration here, in addition to that, is they were up a bye week. And Andy Reid has established himself over the years as one of the best coaches in the league off a bye week. They sure weren't anything resembling that yesterday. They've lost all their explosiveness, and they played down to the level of the Giants yesterday, which is pretty hard to do. That was a terrible football game.
Oh, horrible. I mean, the Giants have no business beating anybody. They have so many people out.
No.
I mean,
and by the way, the Giants, the Giants are having such a bad year. They even screwed up in this game because they don't want to win games right now. I mean, they don't. I mean, they want to be in line to get Mayfield. Well, they probably cost themselves. Now they got 2 wins. The Browns aren't going to win 2 games, so that pretty much eliminates the Giants from having a number 1 pick. Anyway, the other side of the mountain is the Eagles. They were brilliant last night. I know Dallas was short-handed, but that was still a really strong performance, especially the second half. And they are now, I know the Vikings have been impressive, but the Eagles, Jim, they're now firmly established as the NFL team to beat, or NFC team to beat, I should say.
Well, I can't argue with it. They're, in pretty much everybody's mind, they're 1 or 1A with the Saints. Because what the Saints are doing, also in the NFC, is very impressive. And the one thing the Saints have, I mean, I said at the beginning of the year, and I got to pat myself on the back. I said the NFL was going to go back to strong running performances to make a difference, and boy, that has happened. The teams that are running the ball, which is also protecting the quarterback by doing that, are getting great performances at the quarterback position. If you can run the ball, you can protect the quarterback because there's too many things for the defense to focus on. And that is happening. But the Saints and the Eagles, to me, are 1A each. They're right there with the and you can't take anything away from Minnesota. They're playing great ball. So those three teams are real strong contenders to make it to the Super Bowl.
And then there's the Patriots.
Yes. The Patriots are getting better every week. And, you know, they started the year off, they actually lost the home game. And I think the first game they lost was to the Chiefs, wasn't it?
Lost the Chiefs, and they also had that game with Houston that was just downright crazy.
Yes.
They weren't good early season.
You know
what? That's September. September doesn't matter much.
Bill Belichick, a couple years ago, said because of the CBA, which is the collective bargaining agreement that's in place, that don't allow the players to practice enough, and it really, they're trying to protect the players, and I understand that. But the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season is when the teams are getting in shape to become who they're going to become. Now, so if they don't lose players to injuries, or too many players to injuries, because they all lose players to injuries, that's when you start to see what's going on. Well, you see that with the Patriots, and you see that with other teams as well. There are some teams that came out and started really well, and they're still playing well. But not. I mean, the Saints didn't start that way. They lost their first 2 games and won 8 straight. The Philadelphia Eagles have won every game. I mean, they've just been playing great all the way. But the Patriots right now, and maybe 40 is the magic age, I mean, because Brady looks absolutely incredible.
Yeah, he was fantastic again yesterday. And the cool part is we're getting closer to what will be an NFL game of the year. I'm not talking about us selling it as a game of the year. I'm talking about the actual game of the year in mid-December, New England and Pittsburgh. That's going to be a game that if the NFL is worried about ratings, they won't have to worry about it in that game because everybody will be watching that one.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I mean, that's, you know, the only thing is you hope that the game has some meaning at that point because these teams are so far ahead. I mean, right now, both these teams, the Steelers and the Patriots, they're kind of locked in their division unless something really monumental happens. But yes, I hope if that game is meaningful to both teams, that'll be a hell of a game.
Well, it'll be meaningful because it'll probably determine home field for the AFC playoffs, and that's a big deal. I can guarantee the Steelers don't want to have to go into New England in January to try to get to the Super Bowl, and I don't imagine the Patriots would. I'm sure they'd rather be at home for that game than to have to go back into Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh's such a strong home team. So that's going to be a huge, huge football game. Meanwhile, this won't qualify as a huge game, but we always like to give out the play here on Pro Line tonight. This number's actually come down a little bit, but I can't say I agree with the line movement. Wichita State and California are meeting in the Maui Invitational. Wichita's 18.5 right now. They're a monster. Wichita State is the veteran team, senior laden. They've got a chance to go a long way this season. California is replacing all 5 leading scorers from last season. New coach. They haven't been real impressive looking out of the gate. I think Wichita State can name the score tonight. Now, there's always the concern they'll be looking ahead to facing either BCU or Marquette on Tuesday. And there's also Notre Dame and LSU and Michigan in this tournament. It's a great lineup of teams. So hopefully they don't just go out there and do enough to win today. But if with the right Wichita State shows up, they can name the score against California, Jim.
Oh, I agree. It really comes down to motivation, and you remember that this is the part of the season where you can really learn a lot about the teams, but you have to be careful how much you put that into your formula, because this is kind of preseason basketball. They're learning how to play together. They're trying to get the blending of the team together, the rotations, who's coming off the bench first, how they're playing offenses and defensive schemes. Because they're conference games, just like in football, are the most important games. So, because the ratings and where you're rated and ranked doesn't matter, because we have a tournament at the end of the year. So, if you can get into your conference and do well, I mean, you don't want to lose these games, but the motivation is a big factor. So you have to be careful when you're laying especially big points like this. But what Dave said is absolutely right. This California team is very, very young, very new to each other. They're learning how to play together with each other, where you have this veteran team with Wichita State. Although Wichita has switched conferences, Dave, and
Yep.
that's a whole new thing for them. So they're going to be playing in a lot of brand new venues this year when they're on the road in conference play.
We should mention, by the way, that now available at the website. It takes a couple of weeks for these to kick in, but now they are up. The college basketball fast facts are available free every day. And if you're looking for a good modeling setup, this is it, and it's no cost whatsoever.
That's right, Dave. I mean, this is the most popular feature on the website, other than when people go there for scores, because everybody wants to know who's winning and et cetera, scores and odds. But yeah, the Jim Feist Fast Facts have been established for. Well, I started putting that together 40 years ago, and we made a lot of adjustments, but that's where I go every day to start my my handicapping of college hoops, and I suggest you go visit it. It's fantastic. And Dave, I just want to mention again that our picks are available on the websites, jimfeist.com, vegasportsmasters.com. We've got articles up, we've got picks up. Hank's plays are there as well. We have other handicappers there as well. So go to the website, check it out.
Yeah, and I'll mention, by the way, that I've got 2 plays up tonight. College basketball best bet and an upset special. Don't buy the best bet. And the reason I'm saying that is the line has gone wild on the game since I put it up. It's like 4 points higher now than it was. And I wouldn't recommend it at 4 points the worst of it. That's just a stupid bet. But the upset special is available for $25. So get that. Jim, NHL, NBA, a strong side on tonight's football game, or a strong play on tonight's football game, and college basketball later today.
Okay, well, thank you, Dave. I appreciate it, and good luck to you and everybody out there, and thanks for listening.